I'm Lucy, you're used to seeing my face, but as a special treat for today's off-grid Q&A, we have Tim. So Tim is joining us today to answer all your questions about off-grid living, and it's quite exciting.
To help answer, because you're answering them as well, aren't you?
Yeah, to help.
I'm not going to answer all the questions.
Are you feeling comfortable with this setup?
I'm feeling pretty comfortable.
Your outfit? It's
Yeah,
quite important for YouTube.
I'm alright, that's alright. How does it feel for you, my outfit?
You look great.
Is there any dirty bits in the front?
Got a dog hair.
Pubes.
It's either a pube or a dog hair. Pretty gross, Tim, bringing your pubes on YouTube. You pube. You gotta look at yourself like that to see if you like it. You happy?
No,
What?
it's too long. Look, I can't even hear. It's over my ears. Hello, Zoe.
I think you should grow it.
No, I don't want to grow it ever. It's not going to happen. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
It's very thick, and I
Let's have a
play
poll.
with it.
Should Tim grow his hair?
It's already too long. Look at that.
Should I give it a little trim though?
Yeah, just a little trim. Just around the edges.
Okay.
All that long.
Out the way, Lizzo. Ready?
Yeah. You got to ask me hairdressing questions.
Okay. Have you had a good day?
Yeah, good day, thanks.
Oh, maybe we should answer the questions while I'm cutting your hair.
Okay.
Okay, get them up. Gosh, this is so funny. Just need to put it in there a bit more. Okay, I'll ask you. Okay, what's your favourite chore? Oh no, I'll ask it like a hairdresser. Okay, and what's your favourite chore? This is our first question. And what's your favourite chore on the farm, Tim?
I don't know about favourite.
You don't have any. Life's miserable.
Chores. I kind of like going away by myself and gathering firewood. It makes me feel kind of productive and kind of like gets a bit of time by myself as well.
Okay, do you know what my favourite chore is?
No?
I love going to the fields and spading up cow poo and putting it in a wheelbarrow to come on the garden, and I love it because all the fantails, like 50 fantails come, and so it's like this horrible job scooping up poo, but then all the fantails come and they make it really magical, and it's amazing, and I'm just like one with the fantails. I love it.
I can understand that.
Okay.
Least favourite? Can I say least favourite?
Yeah.
Do you want to say least favourite?
I don't really have one. I don't do enough chores to have a least favourite.
My least favourite, without a shadow of a doubt, is emptying the compost toilet.
Oh.
I hate it. Even though it takes like 5 minutes, I just don't like it. And I don't even mind handling the kind of pooey side of things, but just getting out there in the rain, and it's the time that you least want to do it as well. Like, you need to go to the toilet and then you realise it's too full.
Yeah. And you have to do that once a week, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much once a week. Or if people are coming.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm trying to convince Lucy that we should get a this big like bionic compost toilet thing that costs like $8,000 that you flush like a normal toilet, and then it goes in and compost. The wee separates out into a kind of dispersal thing, and the poo is the worms eat that, and 6 months later it's all ready to go, raw in compost. But you don't actually really have to kind of empty it ever. You just flush a toilet, it's flush, whoosh, goes away.
Gone skiing. Sounds good.
It's brilliant, eh? I got a question. Hi Lucy, do you ever feel lonely in such an isolated place? Do you miss the buzz of the city or town? Would you like to have neighbours closer?
Okay, I don't ever feel isolated because we've got neighbours who live just over the stream there who we share our land with. And we've also got quite a few neighbours on our road that we're really close to. We hang out quite a lot with them, don't we? They're really good people. But I do miss the buzz of a town. Like, I miss the going to art galleries whenever I want, and music shops and bookstores.
We love going to the city though, eh? Like, when we go to London and stuff, we go, oh, this is exciting. Like, kind of metropolitan, cosmopolitan kind of.
Yeah, when we go back to London, we're like, we could definitely live in London again. we're like, why aren't we living in London? Oh.
Yeah. Do you have any wildlife that can harm your chickens? We have chickens. We have foxes. We have chickens, and we have foxes stalking ours all the time, and have to make sure our chickens are safely locked up for the night.
We are ducks. Pretty much all of our ducks got killed by stoats. Do you reckon they were stoats?
Stoats or what? Feral cats.
Feral cats, stoats, and ferrets. But yeah, we've got a few things that especially kill the baby things.
Do you have some sort of contract between us and the co-owners? Good question, Olaf.
We decided that we wouldn't have a contract.
We do have a contract. We have a shareholders agreement.
Oh.
We have a shareholders agreement.
Shareholders agreement.
And we're all equal shareholders. We equal stakeholders in this company that owns the land. And we actually set about, when we first started, we set about what's in that shareholders agreement, so that when we have disagreements and things go wrong, we know how to kind of deal with them. So we had a kind of outlined a thing in there that when we have conflict that's hard to resolve just the four of us, we will get external help in. And we did that recently, and it was really cool. And so it's kind of coming with the understanding that conflict does happen, and here's some ways that we're going to deal with it when it happens.
Rather than saying, this is kind of what I was referring to, rather than saying, if things go wrong, you'll get half the farm and we'll get half the farm. Instead of that, it's more like a process sort of a contract day. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
You got hair in your mouth.
I do.
How easy it to buy land in New Zealand? Well, it took us a whole year to find our land, didn't it? We looked.
Well, that's not a long time though, isn't it? People look for years and years and years.
But we did think we were just going to bowl over here and just snap up a bit of land, and it took like a whole year.
But land is still quite plentiful in New Zealand, you know, let's be honest.
And there's also there's bits of land that are not very desirable because they're not close to cities and things, and actually in New Zealand it's really quite cheap. I think that is the case in England though as well, like we know quite a few people who are off-grid in Wales, because Wales is a little bit more remote. I mean, I shouldn't say England, but it's a bit more remote, so the land is a bit more affordable, and you know, there's just a bit more random stuff going on in like the back bits of the woods and things, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just about finding the right place and finding the right sort of community that can be a support when you do go off-grid, I reckon. Do you reckon?
Yeah. How many acres do we live on? 25 acres. That's what it is. And of that, about 1/3 is currently in bush and 2/3 is in pasture. But we're planning on bringing that together so it's 50-50 split.
Yeah. And we didn't really know anything at all about farming and off-gridding. That's another bit of a question. But we did 15 months on another organic farm, just kind of volunteering and living there. And you learnt a lot there.
Yeah, it was kind of like an internship sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was with the baby mostly, but you did a lot of good work there.
That was definitely kind of getting used to various things about it though, eh?
Yeah. Well, when we first went off-grid, we literally lived in a little yurt, had a little cabin, we had hardly any solar, our toilet was like down a pathway, like ages away, and it was just a pretty grotty long drop. There
was wetters in the thing.
Cave wetters. Oh. Yeah, so we did it pretty hard out, I reckon, in those 15 months. Do you reckon? And so actually it's made every step closer we get to this sort of dream. Oh look, does the picture look really weird?
Yeah, it looks like it's condensing on it.
It's done that, hey, done that thing.
Another question is has this kind of lifestyle brought us closer together, Lucy?
What do you reckon?
Definitely, I think so. I think definitely like challenges, like actually kind of bring out the best in us.
Definitely. I reckon we've always been like a massive team, and we've always enjoyed missions together, eh? And I think this has been like one of the biggest missions ever. And I think the danger is that if we get too settled and we stop like feeling like we're on a big adventure together. And I think that did happen a little bit last year. We sort of like all the really hard stuff was sorted, and I think we got a little bit lost in the mundanity of life. And then we remembered that actually adventure is really important to us, so we tried to, and we still try, to really make our lives an adventure together. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, yep, I agree. Sometimes things get really frustrating though, and you kind of like, there is a tendency to look to take it out on someone around you, so we have to be careful about that, so we don't end up kind of being at each other.
Yeah.
When actually it's an external thing, but we're just like projecting that onto each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying not having hot water, and now I'm grumpy with you for leaving something around the house or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that either of us ever leave anything around the house.
I never do.
I never do either.
It's good to have a dog for that reason.
Yeah.
It's like, where's that thing? Oh, Zoe probably took it.
Yeah.
Oh, Zoe.
Okay. Why New Zealand? Did you think of anywhere else?
No. Tim's from New Zealand, so that was the no-brainer, eh?
Yeah.
Is that going down there?
Probably.
I just did a big chunk.
Oh, big chunk.
I just got a bit excited, I think.
Yeah. New Zealand was just the place to do this, wasn't it, Lou?
Yeah, because it was not just about going off-grid, like part of it was we wanted to be more connected to the wild, and so New Zealand is obviously a little bit more accessible in that sense, but it was very much about your family as well.
Yeah.
And getting to spend some time with Tim's mum and dad and all that kind of thing. Yeah, so it was really the obvious choice.
It's kind of funny though, because like growing up in New Zealand, I sort of dreamed of this, like kind of what escape to the wild kind of thing, and
I didn't know you did.
Me and my brothers kind of would go up and play in the golf course, which is our kind of local wilderness, and make huts and stuff. So there's just kind of more extreme version of that.
The golf course.
The golf course. This is just like the golf course.
And it is funny as well, because when I was young, I always said, when somebody asked me what I wanted to do for a job, I always said I wanted to be a farmer's wife. Which is really terrible, because my mum was a proper feminist and I was raised to be a feminist, but for some reason I didn't think I could be a farmer. But actually I pretty much am just a farmer's wife now. Like, you do most of the farming here, and I do sort of the homey stuff and the breadwinning, which is one of the questions actually. It says, do you make money? But mostly you're just a farmer, eh? And so Tim's...
Which doesn't make money. No, it doesn't. It just kind of like, we're just developing the place, aren't we?
But I'm the breadwinner, so you do the farming and I do
the bread.
I win the bread.
Bring home the bacon.
Bring home the crust. Make a crust?
Make a crust, yeah.
With bacon.
Yeah,
bacon crust.
Ooh. Okay, do you have many unschooling families around you guys? I saw one of your videos that you had an unschooling camp at your farm. Will that be a regular event that you will host?
Yeah, we did it every summer.
We'll do that every summer.
It's an off-grid summer camp for unschoolers. Pretty
and there's
cool.
and actually we're very lucky to have lots of other cool families around the place that are doing similar. Not saying that you're. Lots of families that are similarly kind of minded around the place as well, which we're really fortunate. Within about 45 minutes of us.
What do we do with our livestock? All right, so let's talk about our Highland cows. What do we do with our Highland cows? So we eat them. Is there anything more to say about that?
We turn them into sausages.
They are so happy, these beasts. They are born and they die in the same spot, in the same field, in the same meadow. They'll never know a cattle truck or a meat works, you know. So they're happy little beasts. We eat them happily, and but
at the same time we do grieve for them also. It's hard. It's really hard.
We're sad when they die.
Yeah.
But we honour their lives, you know. When we eat them, we say a blessing for them. Hey, we try and raise our children to be really thankful for all the different parts of the earth that have provided for our food.
What kind of chores do the kids do?
They're lazy.
Ramona likes to try her hand at dishes, doesn't she?
No, yeah, she does dishes. Juno really loves to help me tidy. Oh, Juno loves to cook.
They both love to cook.
Yeah, Ramona loves to bake. She bakes. She cooks her and Juno's lunch all the time. Fried eggs, pikelets, fritters. She loves to bake, but Juno really loves to chop, grate, all that kind of thing.
Food prep. She's your sous chef.
Yeah, she's my sous chef. They're pretty handy. They really are. How do we heat a hot tub?
Well, we're in the transitional phase of heating the hot tub.
Yeah.
We are going to have like a wood burning, what do you call it? Thermocycling number.
Well, you've already started that.
Well,
It's brilliant.
we've started kind of like phase 1 of that, and it sort of worked. Mostly, it's not as efficient as it needs to be.
Just use a lot of firewood. Didn't
Yeah, but at the same time, we're like, with our power, when it's really sunny, we've got power to burn, and so why not burn it by putting it in a hot tub?
Oh yeah.
Why not?
But hopefully within a week or so we'll have a very, very efficient wood burning hot tub.
It's going to be, one day it's going to be beautiful as well.
Yeah, we'll show you it.
Yeah, we'll show you it when it's good. Okay, how do you find being away from your family in the UK?
Yeah, I just block them out mostly, you know, just close off my heart to being homesick. People often wonder how it is not being with my family, and I really, really do miss them a lot.
There's an aching in your heart.
There's an aching in my heart, and I sometimes just wish all my people could be here on the farm with us. Yeah, but wherever we are in the world, we're missing someone, so it's kind of just a fact of life, and we just try and bustle on through, I guess.
We do.
What is the main thing we miss about a traditional home?
Turning on a heater.
Beep. Nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe, okay.
Turning on a heater.
Yeah, it's a mission to heat this place, in all honesty. I'd say that is pretty much the only thing, I really think. Sometimes I wish we had a big white wall for me to take outfit selfies next to. But
where is the other family in relation to us?
20
meters that way.
I've got hair everywhere.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna come.
And do they live in a yurt? Do they? I don't.
They live in their own little tiny house. I'm just having a little break because cutting hair.
It's hard work.
It's hard work. It takes
Especially
out
this
of you.
hair. This is thick. Thick.
Tim used to get called Lego head when he was a little boy.
Don't tell everyone that, Lucy.
Sorry.
Lego head, like you can sort of take it off and put it on someone else.
Yeah, because it was
That
so
kind of thing.
big, eh? Because it was quite like.
Yeah.
Was that
But
right?
this is kind of.
Your story. Sorry. Did we have any plans for the mud kitchen? So the mud kitchen was, you know, in my video last week we showed you how we built a mud kitchen for Juno's 4th birthday and she loves it. And we just went to the junk shop, to the refuse centre. Yeah. And we just picked up a few bits and bobs and then you just boshed it in.
Sink, tap, cabinet.
All the things.
Flattened out area.
Put it in. So whatever you can find, really, just go with that.
Just kind of try and make a kitchen.
Yeah, like a mini one. And then put mud in it.
Easy.
Apart from hibernate, we're so hibernating. We're half hibernating.
Yeah, sort of, it was the plan.
It was the plan to hibernate, but we're not really doing it that well because we're really excited. At the moment, we're doing a big back garden project, eh?
Spa pool.
Have we mentioned the spa pool?
Hot tub. Here's a project for the cold winter.
It's a big project and it's amazing. Like so far we go in it all night, then the other family goes in it the next half of the night, and then in the morning it's still hot and the kids go in and play for the whole morning. It's amazing, eh? We're really going on about
When
that.
you go to the hairdressers, do you get a cup of tea?
Cheers.
Cheers, my lover.
Don't say lover. Don't say lover on the camera. My gosh, my mum is probably watching this. What groceries do we buy? So every month we buy groceries. There's so many times you can say that word and it sounds so weird. Groceries. We're part of a co-op, so we bulk buy things in. And then you love going to the supermarket, Tim. Oh my gosh, he goes all the time, don't you?
We try to be kind to ourselves and try and do what we can, and when we need to buy things from the supermarket, or even better, we got this amazing fruit and veg shop down the road that even kind of have offered to deliver it to us.
They're amazing. So we try and get everything from our co-op, our bulk buy co-op collective thing, or the fruit and veg shop, and then for like emergency supplies like chocolate and crisps. What else?
Coffee beans.
Coffee beans. Yeah, you do We dash to the supermarket.
Not dash. We just go past the supermarket on the way home.
Leisurely, in a leisurely fashion. Hi. I did that thing where you got a bubble in your throat and you're like, hi. Okay, we bought both of our yurts.
Yurt. Where did you buy your yurt, Lucy?
Good one. Okay, we bought our yurts, both of them secondhand. Yeah, one on Trade Me, which is like eBay, and one just from a lady up the road kind of thing. But you can buy our yurts from Pacific in America or Jaya in New Zealand. But there's lots of yurt makers in the UK as well, because you're in Norfolk. But basically, I think you can buy them secondhand and have a good look at them, make sure they're not ripped or mouldy and that kind of thing.
And broken bits. You don't want broken bits.
Nobody wants broken bits.
You don't want broken bits that you can't fix.
Yeah.
Broken bits that you can fix is okay.
It's a winner.
But also, people, like someone else asked, like, about yurts. You can also build your own. We have friends that have built 3 yurts.
3?
Just for the sake of it. They want to do it. That's what they've done. They got woofers to do it with them.
Yeah.
3 yurts later.
And online there's like little videos about just bamboo yurts. So using lattice and a frame, just using bamboo that all folds up. It's really cool. So, you know, if you're kind of handy, you can sew, that sort of thing. Take a little look at like building your own yurt. We'd love to do that as a project.
One day that'd be cool. Maybe we should do it for the Learning Collective thing.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing.
Did you ever have people saying, "You'll never do it"?
You're never going to do it. It's impossible.
Not
Don't
really.
do it.
We didn't have those people.
No.
We had people going, "What are you doing?"
Like that. What?
But in a respectful way.
Yeah.
And how would you deal with trying to be persuaded to stay in England?
Honestly, I could be in England right now. Like, the World Cup is on. Oh my gosh, England is in the semis. But the buzz on the streets, I remember it. I remember that fiesta feeling of everyone being joyfully together on the streets of London. You know, summer. What else is going on there? I feel like it's really, Pride. I was just watching a bit of Pride action on Instagram, and I love that city buzz in the summer when everyone is just coming together. Oh, yeah. Didn't really answer that question, but
what does off-grid actually mean? No question is a silly question.
No question is a silly question.
For us, I guess people might have different ideas, eh?
Yeah.
Off-grid means that we're not connected to a power grid.
Primarily about electricity.
And phone line.
Yeah, we got no phone line and no external electricity coming down, but we do have an internet connection using 3G. So we sort of had to hook that up ourselves.
It's pretty crap as well.
It's terrible. But yeah, so but then obviously there's this other idea of being off grid, just simply living a sort of radical alternative lifestyle. You know, you're not in anybody's grid. You're not in their box. You're living your own shaped life, you know? Kind of like that as an idea as well.
Have you got any tips of sustainability for people living in the suburbs, in the city?
In the city of angels.
It was cool. And
city.
How about, and before we left London, there was this kind of like composting initiative that the council set up. You know, it's a group of people together that make collective decisions about doing good stuff.
Honestly, I think in the city and in the burbs, there's quite a lot of opportunities if you can keep your eyes peeled for them. Like, we've got loads of friends who are living sustainably in the city, and they're part of like growing co-ops, so they co-own bits of land, or they don't even own it, but they all just grow these beautiful, amazing, abundant community gardens. They're involved in recycling schemes, veggie box schemes. You know, really, really cool stuff, because there's so many people in a really condensed space. You can actually find some very like-minded people, and you can all come together around a thing. There's loads of ways. In fact, I kind of miss that a little bit. Yeah, there's a massive centre of change, I reckon, in the cities doing sustainable living, because that is where a lot of change has got to happen. What?
I've got something.
Okay.
How about just rejecting the idea that you always must have the most recent lounge suite, or rejecting the idea that you need to replace your appliances rather than fix them,
Yeah.
or rejecting the idea that your kids need to be dressed up in the latest things. Just kind of reject the idea of kind of like disposable consumerism.
Say no.
Say no. We, you know, when we were in London, we went round, we furnished our house by what people were throwing out, which was just beautiful stuff. We clothed our children with gifted clothing, and also stuff that we got from the op shops for like next to nothing.
Yeah. We did a lot of the stuff that we do here, like we had crap dinner parties because we really wanted to have that sense of community in the city. We were part of like a little craft collective thing, and yeah, like in some ways the life we're living here is totally different, and in other ways it's remarkably similar.
Yeah.
And in some ways, living in London, it was actually easier to be sustainable in some ways, eh?
I think so. Could be.
Could be. What did our property come with when we purchased it, and what have we done here? Wow, our land was pretty much bare. It had fences and that was it. So within, oh, you got like a bit of a...
I need a haircut.
I'm gonna get cutting. So within like 2 days, you'd found a spring and he'd put like a hose in, and we had a tap, we had water.
Built a shed.
Built a shed.
Oh, we didn't build the shed, actually.
Our neighbours,
mainly.
co-owners, yeah. So they built a shed, you put a tap in, built a little dam thing to get the water, installed our solar, put our little yurt up, then 3 months later put our big yurt up. It was just step by step building on the land, and some days we think we've done so much, and other days we think we've done nothing. You got a mullet at the moment.
Oh, sweet, mullet.
Mullet day.
5-star. What's your favourite part about living off grid?
Being close to nature. What about you?
Being aware of like power usage and stuff. It's kind of interesting. Why don't you guys go hydroelectric? Simple paddle wheel, and you probably get more power than you'll need from Helena herself. That comes all the way from the Netherlands. Michael, why don't you come over and help us set up a paddle wheel? We'd really love that. It's really hard. We're trying to set up hydroelectric, and we're struggling.
We were about probably half the way, would you say?
We're struggling though.
Yeah,
it's hard.
A big project. It takes a lot of thinking and calculations, but we do really want to do that, don't we?
Do you wish you had more children, or are you happy with 2?
Happy with 2.
Happy with 2.
In fact, great news, Tim just heard yesterday. Do you remember Tim had the old... Oh, I don't even need to do that, I'm holding these. Tim had the little snip, and we heard yesterday that it was all successful, so we are officially not going to be having any more babies, and we are super happy with that. We're just content with our family.
How far is the nearest town from your home? 15 minutes that way and 15 minutes that way.
Boom.
Are your bees a source of income? How often do you go to town? Are bees a source of income? Maybe one day they might. At the moment, we're just trying to get honey from them and be their friends.
Be their friends.
What was the best part of communal living and the worst?
The best part is having friends who are here all the time, and like just yesterday it was a bit of a rubbish rainy day, and so in the evening we went round and Bex had made brownies, and we just ate brownies and ice cream and played a big game of Cranium, all our family. So we just really love that sense of connection and closeness that we're sort of designed to have with other people, really. That's my favourite bit.
Was living off the grid always part of your plans, Lucy?
No, I don't reckon.
No, it wasn't, was it?
Although Tim and I had these little dreams of being wild when we were kids, it only really entered our heads when we sold our house in London and went travelling around Europe in a camper van, and we visited this totally off-grid solar powered place in the Spanish desert, and it really opened our eyes, I reckon. We just went there, it was like a little community, and we were like, wow, this place is amazing. And for the first time, I think we visualised ourselves actually living this really low impact life with a compost loo and living on the sun and that kind of thing. Do you reckon Sunseed, it's called Sunseed, do you reckon that was the first seed?
That's a pretty cool place.
Yeah. But mostly
inspiring.
It was
isn't it?
super inspiring, but mostly I think we've just been totally open to whatever wants to come our way, and then just saying yes to things.
Yeah, and the follow-up question to that is like, do you ever just want to throw in the towel, this off-grid situation? I'm more like that than Lucy. Lucy's a bit of a...
Die hard, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I go, why can't we just turn on a heater? But, you know, like, that's life, isn't it? You know, ups and downs and ins and outs.
Life is a roller coaster, baby, don't fight it.
Well, here's the question. We're running into a finance issue. Bank requires high equity for bare land and a hefty deposit is largely chewed up. Yet bank also wants us to build a proper house and won't lend on cheaper options like yurts. How the heck are people financing their off-grid dreams? Well, that's
so hard.
It is really hard, isn't it? And I think that's one of the reasons why our land stood bare for so long, you know, is that actually people saw it in bare land. It's like, it's tough.
Our land was on the market for 8 years.
8 years, yeah. But I think people, you know, build stepping stones for themselves in order to kind of get to the place that they want to get. Like that's what the tiny house movement, part of the tiny house movement, isn't it? It's about like building something that you can use for a dwelling, but then still has transferable value. So you can build it, you can live in it, and then you can sell it.
Yeah.
And then you can build something else and live in it, like that.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different options, find creative solutions to it. And also...
Sorry. Did I put some hair in there?
I just breathed in at the same time. Also the idea that people kind of like are getting old and they want someone to kind of like buy into their land and help them.
Yeah, and not even buying into land, but just also perhaps just having an arrangement with somebody who's got quite a lot of land to put your portable dwelling on their bit of land. We know a few people who actually don't own the land they're living on, but they're just in a sort of community relationship with someone that does own it, and that's definitely one way of thinking.
Māori land in New Zealand is another thing, is like...
You lease it.
You can lease it.
Yeah.
And you'll never own it, but can we ever own land anyway?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a big one. Yeah. And in a way, we see ourselves as, I mean, it's quite a privileged thing to say, but we see ourselves as guardians of this land.
Caretakers of it, yeah.
Caretakers rather than owners.
How do you store cooked food and reheat?
We eat it.
We cook food on the gas.
Oh, yeah. And then we eat it.
Then we eat it.
Like, we just don't
And then
really store, do you know what I mean? Like, we just...
Yeah, we have a fridge that we put it in.
Yeah.
And then when we reheat it, you put it in the pan.
Oh,
or
right.
we put it in the pan.
Okay.
And then we heat it up again.
He's good, this guy. But what I'm trying to say is that I eat leftovers for breakfast every day. That's what I have for breakfast, eh? Like,
do?
whatever we've had for dinner the night before, I'm just eating it pretty much the next morning. So we don't have much storage going on in the fridge, really, eh?
And sometimes she forgets to drink a cup of tea, so she just puts it on the fireplace and it heats it up.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, how did we decide to do this together? Is that the question, really?
Yeah.
How much time and effort went... They're down in the little yurt, Sandy!
They're down in the little yurt, Sandy!
Cool. How much time and effort went into doing this? Oh, a lot.
But it kind of just sort of happened, didn't it? Our life plan was never just to go, let's go and move onto a farm in the middle of nowhere.
No.
It's kind of like, it sort of just developed.
Yeah, and I think in our vows, like when we got married, in our vows we said let's never stop having adventures with each other. And I think that is really the thing that kind of led us here in a way. It was just about every single day just living our life and trying to listen to what's going on in our hearts and respond to what's going on around us. And then basically we ended up in the middle of a forest in New Zealand. So the intention was to be daring and to be wild, but the intention wasn't to live in a yurt in New Zealand.
No. This person says, I want to own some land and have friends that want to live there with me in separate yurts.
Cool.
What a cool idea. That'd be so fun.
Such
you should
a great
do
idea.
it.
You should.
do
But
it.
it's hard work. You know, like we communal living like takes a lot of time. Like we have a meeting every single week, and sometimes it's like 3 or 4 hours just kind of talking through decisions, you know, and we love it. We love
But
those
having
meetings.
laughs as well, you know, it's
Yeah.
not just like 3 hours of
Decisions.
awfulness.
No, it's fun, you know, it's connecting time, but you really do have to, it's like a marriage, you have to really invest in your relationship if you're going to share land with people. But, you know, we love it, but just don't underestimate how much work and how much hard work it takes.
And we do, the question goes on to say, do we work together on stuff? And we do actually work together on projects. And that's one of the cool things. We can do big things because there's 4 of us pulling in the same direction.
Yeah.
But it might be one person's idea and other people kind of support that thing, which is, so one person carries a vision, gives us a vision for it, and then we support them in that. That's really cool.
There we go, sir.
You need that brush and shovel.
Yeah, got it here. I'll brush your neck. Ta-da! Don't have a mirror, but
Oh, yeah, nice. Thank you. Oh, it's good.
pleased with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
How much do I owe you?
$1 million. Okay. Would you say off-grid living is helpful to the kids? Why or why not?
It's funny, kind of like them having limited resources. Can we watch this today or something like, oh, we don't have enough power or something like that? Or can we...
Go in the spa pool.
Yeah,
We don't have enough water.
don't know. So it's kind of interesting having them kind of like coming to terms with limitations on actually what we can and can't do.
Yeah, but when we talk, the one I worried about the most was our eldest, Ramona, because she's a bit of a city slicker. She was born and raised in London, and a lot of her still really enjoys that kind of concrete jungle. But chatting to her in recent days, she says, I just love our life, Mum. I love our farm. I love living here. So I think they actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think like our close proximity to the outdoors is actually really good for the human psyche. So I think that side of off-grid living is really cool for children.
Yeah, definitely. Which gets us on to another question somebody asked.
Yeah.
About like when your kids are teenagers and they have different needs, they want to go to cafes and bars. Bars?
They're not.
They're not going.
Just jokes. Their bodies, they can do what they want. Okay. Not hard. Just jokes.
And what would we do when their needs are different? You know, they want something different.
Yeah. So I think that every day we try and work with our children to, you know, honour what they would like from the day, and I think that will continue to grow as they get older and as we grow together as a family. You know, I think we do, all of us have a bit of a nomadic spirit. I think that's sort of left over in many people from our nomadic days. And so we do love to travel, so maybe one day we will travel away from the farm, or we might go and live in a city. I feel like living in a Spanish city. That's what I want to do one day.
So many good Spanish cities out there.
Je ne sais pas. Oh no, that's French. Me
Donde?
llamo Lu. Oh no, that's. Oh gosh. We want to go to learn Spanish, basically. Yeah, so I think we'll just constantly respond to what our children want and what they need, basically.
And that will be a kind of a joint decision making thing. We're not going to force them to stay inside a box that they don't want to be inside a box.
Yeah. Okay, what are your 3 favourite physical tools for this kind of life?
When we first started this project, we bought a whole 6 set of good 18-volt cordless tools
You love
for
that.
building, and man, they're so good.
They're so, you love it, don't you?
Yeah, I love it, but they've saved many hours and much heartache.
Much.
They just make a job easy, and you can charge it when you have lots of power and use it when you don't have power.
So great.
It's brilliant.
So that's his favourite. It's a bit of a cheat because it's like a 6-piece set.
Skill saw, cordless drill, rattle gun.
Bosh. Personally, I really like a little washi. It's a Japanese gardening tool for weeding. It just makes weeding really easy and kind of fun and pleasurable.
One. There's only one.
I've got just very few needs, me.
a wheelbarrow and a spade to gather poo.
Yeah, they're handy. What advice can we give to the people that are just starting out on this journey? I would say work on your mind first. I think if you're about to start this journey, don't think for one moment that this journey is going to answer your whole life's problems. It's not going to make you happy. The only thing that can make you happy is your own heart and mind. So be prepared to do a lot of that heart work as you go on this journey, would you say? So, you know, if you can get into a practice of meditating, or whatever meditation looks like, it might be journaling or talking things through. You know, do that heart work and contentedness, that mindfulness, that being present. All of that stuff will really set you on a really good path towards contentment, I reckon. Last question. Will we live off-grid forever?
Who knows?
No one knows. We're just going into this with the same attitude that we've lived all of our days together, I reckon. And that is, you know, stuff I've mentioned in this video before. It's about being open, listening to our hearts, following our intuition, creating opportunities for all those things that we feel drawn to, such as community, the wild, love, all of those things.
I definitely think as well, it's changed the way we do things. So we might live off-grid in the city. Crazy.
That would be cool. I'd love to do that.
That'd be crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's our Q&A.
Yeah.
Do you want to do my outro? See if you can remember it. He watches all my videos.
Well, thanks for watching. It'd be great if you clicked like or subscribe.
Both.
Both in fact.
Sure.
If you comment as well if you've got some advice to give, or thoughts on that. And most importantly,
you're doing great.
Most importantly, you need to stay radical.
Oh, that's really important. But also, Patreon.
Oh, Patreon.
We have a lot of fun over on my Patreon community, so you can sign up as a patron from as little as $1. We do live streams, stuff like that. You should come on a live stream. This has been fun.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
It's been radical.
You can do that.
Do you like my haircut?
It's so great. You're such a babe, isn't he?
Beard's a bit long. Hey, do you want me to give you a haircut?